Ideally, this won't feel like a super hard workout. It'll be a little bit more technical and just like moving fast, trying to follow somewhat of a trend of what I was doing with Dan, because it worked out really well. I was able to continue to get strong even on days where I felt really beat up or sore. It was nice to do things with a little bit more speed and technique. So we're gonna get started on that. So the first couple things we're gonna work on is just kind of getting those hips opened up. So as we progress to more of the marching positions, and doing a little bit of jumping today, that we're nice and warmed up. So let's start with the world's greatest stretch. I might have you adjust the camera a little bit, just depending on what they can and can't see. So from here, in that lunge position, coming down. Again, I'm trying to reach my front knee forward, pushing my back heel back. From here I can do a few reaches up, down. How's it look? 2 or 3 on each side. Just getting these hips warmed up. And then we'll switch. Kind of work through. If you're tighter on one side, spend a little more time there if you like. But then we're going to move into the couch stretch. Again, with all these stretches, position is the most important part, right? That we're keeping our hips stacked underneath our butt. We don't want to see, too much arching of the back, so I'm tucking my butt. Staying nice and tall. Should have a good straight line between my knee, hip, shoulder, and ear. How's it look? Okay? Yeah, the audio might not be as good either because, I don't have everything connected to the computer, but that's alright. We're still going to get through it. I'll find another service today. There's got to be a better one out there anyway. About 30 seconds on each side here, just really trying to open up so when we get to the marching positions and single leg kind of stuff, that this feels nice and warmed up. After this exercise or stretch, we're going to go into a quick bridge, just kind of reinforcing this position of hip extension, trying to make sure our backside's doing the work and that our hip flexors aren't restricting us from extending at our hips. So when we go to jump, I remember in college I had a professor who, he must have been like a high jumper or something. The guy he wasn't very good at basketball, but he could freaking jump. He was able to just get close to the rim and jump over everybody. He talked about this study where they basically just stretched the crap out of the hip flexors in jumpers, and they were able to improve their jumping height because that wasn't restricting them, or they get a little bit extra range of motion as they extended their hips. So that was pretty cool. We're going to go to that cook bridge, so one knee to the chest, so it's flat. From here, working on bridge. Again, you don't have to go very high as long as you feel the activation through your butt, hamstring. I will encourage you, especially with this leg that's bent towards your chest, toe and knee nice and high, driving towards your shoulder. We're going to shoot for 8 each side here. You can even go toe up on the down leg, that's okay. Not as worried about what's happening at the bottom leg. It's more of this top leg. Side. Okay. And we're going back to that World's Greatest Stretch. You want to run into this one real quick, Jim, so I can take a look at the workout. Calf stretch. Yep, just those three. And then it'll be cook bridge.
This is Jesse's favorite stretch.
Yeah, I really like this one.
It's a joke from, we used to do it all the time at CrossFit.
Oh yeah? It's a good one. So she doesn't like this stretch?
We used to just do it a lot.
Yeah. Pull your toe towards your face on that. Yep, toe, knee. Don't care how high you go as long as you feel your butt and maybe your hamstring a little bit. Oh yeah. Must be because of the service that we're using, or I'm about to not use it anymore, but it must put the camera in a certain way. That's kind of funny.
What?
They said it looks backwards.
Oh.
Because I guess now I'm using the, hey, what's up, Amy? I'm using like the selfie camera so I can make sure you guys can see what we're doing. That's probably what it is. Okay, let's get into our first kind of set here. We're just continuing to kind of ramp up. We're going to go through a series of marching, skipping, and high knees as good morning. As a way to kind of teach you, one, running mechanics, but two, just kind of getting things more ramped up and working on more speed work today. So in our marching, make sure we're going opposite foot, hand coming up. And so what I'm really thinking about is driving my knee high and my toe high, as high as you comfortably can, right? So as I march, toe, knee up, and my hand is going from hip to lip, right? So it does come to midline a little bit. And that was a cue we got from Marcus, who was track. You guys all know Marcus, track guy. So from here, boom, just practicing pushing through the ground as I drive this knee up, boom, keeping our elbows at about 90 degrees, going hip to lip. We're going to go about 30 seconds. We will ramp this up as we start to warm up. Boom, 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 boom. Nice and tall. Everything is up. If you want to be fast, you gotta get those knees up. Okay, so the only difference between the march and the skip is that when you go to push into the ground, you're just gonna kind of pop yourself off the floor a little bit. So from here, as I push, and you can kind of ramp this up as long as you're in control and you're really thinking about driving the knee and toe up, toe and knee up. That's the biggest part of these hip to lip with the hands. Toe up, toe up. I find that to be pretty difficult for a lot of kids. They especially athletes, they tend to have tighter ankles and they really have a hard time bringing those toes up. Last one is going to be high knees, and we're actually going to wait to do that until the next round, until we get a little bit more warmed up. So back to the marches. This time you're going to ramp up. Nice and slow. As you become in control and you're feeling a pretty good groove, the toe, knee up, you're just going to go a little faster. Nice and tall. Nice and soft with those feet. Pretty much striking with the ball of the foot. Good. And now to the skip. So it's basically just like that march, but then I'm going to start to nice and tall. Knee and toe up, knee and toe up, 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 up. Toes up towards your face. If you can get loud in your house, go ahead and get a little bit louder as you push that foot into the ground and really make it pop, 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 pop. Now we'll do some high knees. So now we're trying to basically alternate from one foot to the other, keeping our toe and knee nice and high. So from here, this one's hard not to be loud. If you can't be loud for whatever reason, just work on that tall position, driving your knee towards your face. We're going to try and keep it down for our neighbors a little bit. Try it out. Up, 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 up. High as you can. Knees and toes, knees and toes. Hands too. Get those hands going. Yeah. Everything, one of the most helpful cues with any of that stuff with sprinting mechanics is just getting things to go up, like hands up, knee driving up, not getting lazy with that stuff. One more time with the marching. Again, we're ramping up. And let's just go right into the skipping when it's time. Let's make it not as loud. A little better. Okay, now into the skipping. Oh, way better. Up, 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 up. Go a little bit faster if you can pick up your pace, but don't lose your mechanics. And relax. High knees. We're only going to do this for about 10 seconds. You're trying to get your knees up, toes up. Ready? And go. Now get you warmed up. Up, toes up, pull those toes up. Nice. Alright, heart rate should be up a little bit. So now we're going to go through, we're going to go through jumping mechanics. So I guess I'm going to keep using this because it's kind of quiet. So we're going to break down, we've been doing these breakdown exercises. We're going to progress them. Kind of been setting you guys up for this one. So from here, we start tall. When we go to jump, we're going to break down fast. We're going to end up on the balls of our feet. So I should be able to slide something underneath the heels. Those should be off the ground, right? So we're going to practice. Let's do 5 of these. Break down. Now I'm in control. Nice and tall. I don't want to get too deep because then I'm going to lose power when I go to jump. I'm just coming to the point where I load. Still nice and tall with my chest. Really own that bottom position. So now, when we go to jump, I'm going to have you land back in the same position as that kind of starting athletic position. So it looks like We're gonna start down at the bottom. From here, if you can't throw your hands up because of the ceiling, just keep your hands in tight. It's not ideal, but that's what we're gonna do for today. From here, I'm gonna jump and then catch myself back into that position. Heels don't touch. We're gonna do 5 of those in a row. Starting at the bottom, I'm gonna jump, and I'm gonna catch myself back on the balls of my feet. Try not to let the heels touch the whole time. It's harder than it looks. And catch breath. There's typically a little bit more rest in these dynamic days where we're doing, speed, effort. We take a little bit more time to catch our breath. Hands off, man. Balls of the feet. Okay. Next. Now we're going to actually use the hands to give us some momentum. So before we were just starting at the bottom, right? From here jumping, now we're going to use the hands to help us get a little bit more height. Just make sure that you're prioritizing sticking the landing. You don't even have to jump as high as you can yet. Just leave the ground for a split second and then catch yourself. So from here, I use my hands to come down and I'm still trying to get back to this position every time. Reset, hands up, come down, up, stick it, up. Stick the landing. Whoop. Try and jump straight up and down. If you gotta give it a little hop step, that's okay. Don't let those heels touch. Catch your breath here if you've already gone through it. Let Janelle finish up, that'll be our rest time. That was a good one. Nice and quiet. There you go, that's better. Okay. Got one more round here. Again, you're trying to now challenge yourself. Try and really leave the ground, jump, and jump as high as you can, as long as you can still stick the landing. If you're having a hard time sticking the landing, then don't jump as high yet. We want to control ourselves first, right? Here. You gonna hit my head on the ceiling? No, look at it, it freaks me out. Catch your breath here, or you can continue with Janelle. Not getting your heart rate up yet. We're gonna go. You're gonna need a medium-sized dumbbell for the next set of things. I don't need this. So we're gonna break down a couple different movements here. We're gonna break down the dumbbell snatch again, and we're gonna really think about trying to be fast with some of those movements, like going from that hinge position to the high pull to the snatch. Do you want to teach that? Sure. So we're starting with that first position of the dumbbell of just going with the hips, no pull yet. 5 of those?
Yeah. 5?
Well, first the hips and then 5 high, like just the deadlift. And then 5 high pulls and then 5 snatches.
Alright, so we're gonna grab one dumbbell, making sure it's in the middle of the feet. You can see from my side angle, feet shoulder width apart. You're gonna slight bend the knees. We're gonna push those hips back Maintain that neutral spine. As that dumbbell comes to your knees, then you're gonna keep the same back angle, drop the hips, come all the way to the floor, okay? If you find any rounding or rotation of the hips, you don't have to go as low. You can just stop at that mid-shin, and then full extension at the top, squeezing, triple extension of the hips, knees, and ankles. So let's go 5 deadlifts on each side. Really focusing on getting full triple extension at the top, because during our movement, we're gonna have to wait till we get triple extension before we do any high pulling. Switch.
When would you add the feet?
Add the feet.
Well, that's the third thing that extends is your feet coming off, like pushing.
Yeah. I guess during the high pull.
Okay. I don't know. I don't remember. Can't remember when I do that with people. Probably later, yeah.
So 5 each side. So now we're gonna go into our high pull. So adding, they're all like puzzle pieces, so never forget the deadlift. From here, I'm gonna pretend to do it in slow motion. Deadlift, full extension of the hips, knees. Now you're gonna come to the balls of the feet. Now you're gonna pull that elbow up high and outside. You're gonna try to get that dumbbell to collarbone height. But we want full triple extension at the top. So it looks like this in fast motion. Remember, don't forget the deadlift. Again, you're letting that bell float. It's like a floating sensation. Pushing the hips back, deadlift again. Again, you're trying to transfer the energy from our hip hinge to the dumbbell. 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch. Sometimes people will extend the hips and they'll pull their body down. We don't want that. We want to get full triple extension again. Let that bell float. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. So now we're going to go into our strict presses. So that's the end of the movement. You're going to bring that dumbbell up to the front rack position. From here, your elbows are going to be under that dumbbell. Ribs tucked under, butt squeezed. We're going to press straight up. Bicep to ear at the top. Full extension of the elbow. Control back down. 5, 2, 3, 4. What we want to prevent here is hyperextension of that lower back. So making sure your whole body stays stacked. Pretend like there's a wall behind you. 5, and then switch. You can even put the opposite hand on your ribs to make sure they're not flaring up. Alright, so now we're going to put it all together. Deadlift, high pull, triple extension, and then so after that high pull, you're basically going to just punch to the ceiling. Punch with that full extension at the top that we just did with our strict press. So it looks like this. Deadlift, high pull, punch. Okay, controlling it back down. Let's stay on one arm right now just to work on form. Control all the way back down, deadlift, high pull, punch. I like to keep the dumbbell vertically, but it's your choice if you want to go vertical or horizontal. Works either way. Let's go 5 each side. 3, 4, 5. Alright, same thing on the other side. Pretending like the dumbbell is also like a paint roller. You're just painting all the way up your body. Sometimes people in the snatches will bring it all the way out like a rainbow or like a kettlebell clean. Or sorry, kettlebell swing. But pretend like it's a paint roller.
It's pretty cool to do this while the sun comes up.
So that's your snatch. Ideally in a workout, you would always transition. So an ideal transition would be doing it in the right hand, bringing it down in front of your face, switching hands, and then controlling back down. Looks like this. If you're not quite comfortable with doing that, you can bring it all the way down to the ground, maintain position, switch hands, go into the next one. That's the snatch.
Alright, I'm going to start back from the beginning. Just breaking everything down, do another round of everything.
Okay. Alright, let's go to 5 deadlifts each side.
Just making sure that we're getting good form on all this stuff.
Pushing those hips back, maintain that neutral spine. Squeeze the glutes at the top. Breathing wise, inhaling on the way down, exhaling on the way up, and also focusing on being explosive because in the full movement, you're not going to be slow.
That's the whole point of today, right? Being explosive, being fast. If you feel like the weight's slowing you down, go a little bit lighter.
All right, 5 each side deadlifts, now 5 each side high pulls. Let that bell float. So 5 high balls each side, and then we're going to go into strict presses. Prioritize position, prioritize form. If you're using a heavier dumbbell for the deadlift and the high pull, but can't quite strict press it yet, you should use the weight for your snatches for your strict press. Just so we're safe going overhead. All right, let's do the full snatch with transition now. So right hand, bring it in front of the face transition or bring it to the ground. Let's go 10 total, so 5 each side.
That feels good.
One more.
Yeah, we can go through one more time real quick. If you want to just break down more of the main movements or something, or whatever you want to do. It's your call.
Ooh. All right, one more round. Starting with our deadlifts. Again, test out each of those weights, but make sure always prioritizing. Get a little full warm. All right, starting with the deadlifts. 5 each side. Make sure you initiate with the hips and make sure you pick it up safely as well. Again, you don't have to go all the way down to the floor. Always maintain that flat back.
It's kind of like a swing, right? Like, kind of that same feeling of extending the hips with power. Kind of like what we talked about yesterday.
All right, 5 high pulls. doing with that? 5 strict presses. Alright, 10 dumbbell snatches. Last ones. You got this. Keep rolling. Again, if you can't do all 10 in a row, that's totally fine. Just put it on the ground, reset, and get it going. Good work.
Try to catch breath. Grab some water. Those are fun. Where are we going?
What?
Okay, next thing we're going to go to is doing basically cleaning the dumbbell with single arm and then push press. Being able not just to press it up strictly, but to use our whole body to explode up and be quick to get that weight overhead. And so the dumbbell clean, I mean, we kind of already did it. Janelle kind of showed you how to do that before we did the last press. And she can come by and clean up some of the things that we might miss, because she's definitely more knowledgeable when it comes to kind of the Olympic lifting or yeah, in general, for sure. So from here, using all the same things that we did, right? The hinge, the high pull, but from now we're just gonna pack it in, keep our elbow in tight, our lats, as we go to this kind of clean position. And so from here, we're gonna do 5 of those. So how do you transition? You know, are you continuing to go hot to get to the clean? Do you go here and then come in, or do you just pull it in?
Yeah.
Go ahead and...
So the clean is exactly the same as the snatch, except you just stop at your front rack position. So the whole movement looks like this. So
Okay.
You're ending with the back of the head at your shoulder height, basically touching your shoulder. Coming back down. Again, the deadlift that we just worked on, the high pull still, the exact same thing, it's just the ending position. And then you'll quickly, focusing on transition, pull that elbow under and kind of punch that way instead of punching to the ceiling. So it looks like this. So since we did all the deadlifts and high pulls, you want to just do the cleans?
Cleans, yeah. Just cleans. We'll do clean and then push press.
Okay. So this one, let's not transition. Let's just do 10 each side. Okay. But same mechanics, exact same thing that we just worked on with the snatch. It's just the difference is the ending position. Another thing, if you feel like your grip is taxed or your dumbbell is slipping out of your hand, you can try to use hook grip. Hook grip we use in a lot of Olympic lifting just to be more connected to the bar. So if you want to be more connected to the dumbbell, here's my dumbbell. You would hook all the way around and you would basically hug your thumb. So again, the dumbbell's in here, hug your thumb, that's called hook grip. It's a little taxing on the thumb at first, but I promise you it'll be a lot better in the end. All right, Jesse? Right. Again, 10 each side, and then you'll switch. But still thinking or focusing on that transition from the hip hinge to that dumbbell. Another thing to focus on with both dumbbell and snatches is if my right hand has a dumbbell, my left hand is just on the side of my body. Sometimes people will cheat, not on purpose, but they'll push on that opposite leg to come all the way up. So we really want to use all the power in our hips and not cheat with our opposite hand. All right, round number 2. Same thing, cleans, 10 each side.
Now we're going to do push press. So basically going from this position. Can.
All right, let's do one more set of cleans, 10 each side, just to make sure we're experts at this movement. Again, full triple extension at the top. If you need to slow it down, but be explosive in each movement. You don't have to do all 10. If you're really comfortable with doing 5 each side, that's totally fine. But you can try out that hook grip. Again, it looks like this. See, I'm hugging my thumb, and I'm more connected to that dumbbell. Sometimes you see a lot of more elite Olympic lifters, they tape their thumbs, just so it's not as aggravating on the thumbs and the hook grip. What we want to try to prevent here is basically a really heavy bicep curl, right? You want to really focus on still that hip hinge, high pull, and then rotation. Sometimes, especially in later rounds, people will fatigue and they'll just be standing up and just use their bicep to curl. We want to try to prevent that. Done?
Yep.
Okay, catch your breath. Get some water. So now we're going to go into our push press. So push press, we're eventually going to combine them to be a clean. You want to do a jerk or just a push press?
Oh, just being explosive, learn how to use your body to help.
And a push press. So push press, let's do it with an imaginary dumbbell first. So with your imaginary dumbbell, you're holding it at your shoulders, elbows underneath. From here, we're going to go into a dip. So a dip is where we're going to create all our energy. Feet are going to be shoulder width apart. You're going to initiate with the hips and push out with the knees. Okay, still pretending like you're pulling that floor apart, but you're initially just dipping straight down. A lot of times, faults, we see people dipping like this, like a hinge, but that's going to cause the weight to come forward, and therefore us to not be in a good position. You might feel that in your lower back. So from here, again, let's focus on the dip first. Imaginary dumbbell. You're going to dip, pause, and then we're going to fully extend the hips, and then just pause there. Okay, so just focusing on that explosion of the hips. So let's go 10, or let's go 5 each side with our imaginary dumbbell. Dip, and then extend. Dip, and extend. Again, think of it as like a quarter squat. You're going straight down. Dip, and extend. One more. Dip, and extend. All right, let's switch sides, imaginary dumbbell. When you do dip as well, make sure you stay back on your heels. A lot of times people will dip, like they're going straight down, but they're on their toes and therefore they're off balance. Okay, stay connected with the floor. Let's go 5 dips on the left side with our imaginary dumbbell. Dip, extend. Dip, extend. Dip, extend. 2 more. Dip, extend. 1 more. Dip, extend. Okay, so now back to our imaginary dumbbell on the right side. We're going to dip, extend the hips. Right after extend the hips, then we're going to punch to the ceiling. Okay, there's no other movements after that. Again, you're trying to get the dumbbell to float. You're still doing the same transition of the hips, hip extension to the dumbbell. So with our imaginary dumbbell, let's go 3 each side. Dip, extend, punch. Again, you're only punching after you extend. Don't do it early. Ready? Dip, extend, punch. Again, dip, extend, punch. Okay? Might feel really easy right now because we have our imaginary dumbbell, but you will see once we get to the real one. Switch. 3 on each side. Dip, extend, punch. Dip, extend, punch. Dip, extend, punch. Okay? All right, so now let's grab the dumbbell. But again, don't grab the dumbbell all ugly. Make sure what we just learned, let's do a dumbbell clean to our shoulders. Okay, so this is the starting position. From here, this is what a push press looks like. Dip, drive, press. Okay, let's do it all together. You're gonna dip, drive, press. Bring it back down safely. Dip, drive, press. Sink back in your heels. Dip, drive, press. Let's go one more. Dip, drive, press. Good. Let's switch sides. So front rack position, same thing. Dip, drive, press. Dip, drive, press. Dip, drive, press. One more. Dip, drive, press. Let's put it all the way back down. Shake it out, take a breather. How's that feel, guys? Good, 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 good. It's a fun one, but still focusing on explosiveness, like Joshua was saying. And we'll do one more set on our push presses. Let's see if anyone, yay, hook grip. Hook grip is awesome.
Is that Jesse?
Hi, Zach. Oh, yeah, Zach. All right, let's do another set of push presses. Let's see your muscles too. All right, let's go 5 each side. 5 push presses. Again, pick it up like you're cleaning it. Dip, drive, press. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then switch. Switch safely. If you need to bring it all the way down to the ground, you can. Ready and go. Dip. 1. Dip. 2. 3. 4. 5. Good. Put it down safely as well. Shake it out, take a breather. So now we're going to put it all together. A dumbbell clean to a push press. Okay? It's important to get these terms right. There's a lot of different terms out there. So we're going to go into, so with our push press, we're going to switch arms. So just like we switch arms in our snatch. It'll look like this. Watch first. Dumbbell clean. And then you're going to dip, drive, press. Bring it down in front of the face. Transition. Deadlift. Dumbbell clean. Dip, drive, press. That'll be 2. Bring it in front of the face. And we'll switch. Okay? So on your own time, let's do 10 total. 5 each side. But transitioning each time. Ready, and go. Really explosive in that dip, and then in that triple extension as well for the clean. Again, if you're not comfortable transitioning in front of your face, you can bring it all the way down to the ground and then switch arms that way. Make sure at the top for the push press, you're not re-dipping. Okay, that would be called a push jerk. A whole different movement. One more. Woo. Nice work, guys. And do one more?
Yeah. What time is it?
7:49.
Perfect.
Take a break, shake it out. Do a little dance. Blah, 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 blah.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Something a little different. A lot more instruction from Janelle, which is, people are going to love that. They'd rather listen to you than listen to me. So.
If that was too easy too, and you had perfect form, and you felt comfortable, you can also go up and wait if you do have that quality or the essentials and equipment for that.
Where's the foot of the roof?
Josh is going to make a hole in the ceiling. right, last one. Same thing. Let's go 10 total. 5 each side. Work on those transitions. Try the hook grip. Big, explosive punch to the ceiling. Ready, and go. Woo. Woo.
Nice job.
Good work, guys. Virtual high five. Boom.
Nice job. Hey, don't leave me hanging.
Oh. Let's get into the virtuals.
All your virtual handshakes. Oh. Hey guys, thanks for joining again. Hope you enjoyed today. A little different. What's up, Zach? Everybody else who popped in. Gonna try and work on getting a more consistent software. See if we can't. If not, we'll do it this way. It's just fine.